Hey, dummy, what are you doing? I'm just getting my fireworks ready for tomorrow for Independence Day. I'm making chicken katsu. You want some? Do I want chicken katsu? Oh yeah. I love chicken katsu. What's up everybody, I'm Zach. I'm just a simple chef, and today we're gonna learn how to make chicken katsu. It's gonna be golden, it's gonna be crispy, juicy, and it's gonna be delicious. I also wanna thank everybody for the 100 subscribers. I reached the 100 subscriber mark yesterday. I'm super excited, and if you guys have any questions or concerns or remarks or suggestions, please don't be afraid to comment down below and let me know. I'll be happy to answer every question as best as I can. And just again, thank you so much. All right, so we're going to crack 3 eggs into a bowl and we're gonna whisk it up real good. Whiskey business here. You wanna just make sure you whisk the crap out of those eggs. Now we're gonna fill up probably about a cup or 2 cups of panko in a bowl. All right, so we always do flour, egg, panko. No other way. That's it. Flour, egg, panko. Done. Alright, so we're going to make a homemade katsu sauce, and this is my recipe. You could totally do store-bought. You don't have to do this, but if you want to push yourself and try to be a better cook, this is a way to make your own sauce for chicken katsu. Alright, 1 cup of applesauce, 1 cup of water, half a cup of ketchup, 1 cup of shoyu, 1/4 cup of mirin, 1 cup of sugar. Give that a good mix. And then we're going to add freshly cracked black pepper, about a tablespoon, and then about a pinch of salt. Now we're going to taste. It's good. Get it into a pot, and we're getting it on the stove. We want to bring this up to a boil and have it cook. So while waiting for this to boil, we're going to start on the other things. Alright, so now that we got that on the stove, I'm going to go ahead and making a spicy sauce that we're going to dip the katsu in. So we're going to have spicy chicken katsu and regular chicken katsu. You don't have to do this, but I like spicy katsu and it's delicious and I want to share it with you. Alright, so we're going to cut up the bottom portion of a scallion, green onion, whatever you like call them. We're going to add a half a cup of water, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of shoyu. Give it a good whiskey business. We're going to add a little bit of MSG, about a 1/4 cup of toasted sesame seeds, and then we're going to add red pepper flakes until it's thick. But you also want it kind of runny. You'll see as we're whisking the red pepper flakes, you'll see the texture and the consistency of it change as the red pepper flakes soak up all the juice. Now, that's about what you want. You can see it's kind of thick and clumpy. We're going to give it a taste, make sure it tastes good. Now, the katsu sauce is boiling, so we're going to want to take 1/4 cup of cornstarch and 3/4 cup of water. And we're going to make sure it's mixed up so there's no clumps. You don't want any clumps. Just break it down. We call this a slurry. And we're going to slowly whisk in a little bit at a time to get our consistency that we want in our katsu sauce. So just a little bit at a time. And you'll feel it as you're whisking that the thickness of it will change. Keep whisking till you get to the point, and then you stop. And you'll bring it to a boil again, and you'll turn it off. Super simple. Now we're going to make the garnish for the rice and the chicken katsu. Super easy, just some finely sliced scallions, nothing crazy. Green onions go great on a lot of things. So just a little bit, not too much. Now we're taking 3 chicken thighs, bone in, skin on, and I'm going to show you how to debone them. The best that I know how, because I am myself still practicing. So we're going to go ahead and take the skin off, and we're going to feel for the bone, and just as best we can slowly cut the chicken off from the bone. Just
Slice down the back. As you can see here, just following the bone, staying as close to the bone as possible. Feeling around. And at some point, you can start to use gravity, as you see here. I'm just cutting down the back of the bone. Super simple. It may seem complicated, but it's not. Just take your time. And now I'm just using the gravity as the meat hangs there, and I'm just cutting as close to the bone as possible. It's not perfect, but it does the job. And then we're going to cut around the hard part at the other end of the bone, because we don't want that into our chicken. And should just come right off. There we go. And final part of the chicken bone. And so now we're going to do this to all the other ones, but you don't have to watch that. There's the chicken bone. There's the chicken thigh. Now we're going to open it up a little bit and try to make it all the same level so they cook it the same. Clean it up a little bit. So you want to feel around, make sure you didn't miss any bones or fragments or anything that you don't want to have when you take a bite. So we're going to fill up a pot of oil, just enough to keep the chicken katsu from touching the bottom, but just enough so it'll float. We want to bring up the temperature to about 375. Here you can see me flouring, egging, and then putting the panko on the chicken. So you want to make sure that you keep your hands dry, and your hands that are wet. You don't want to mix and match, because that's how you make a big mess. So you really want to get the panko into that chicken thigh. So you want to press it down and really work it in there. So now I'm going to do it from a different angle so you can see a little better. So chicken, one hand into the dry, which is the flour. Then I'm going to switch hands for the wet, which is the egg. We really want to coat it. Then we're going to switch hands again as it goes into the panko and use the dry hand to put the panko onto the chicken thigh. Super quick. Don't have to worry about a mess. So that's the chicken there, ready to go. And now we're going to consolidate all of our sauces and kind of clean up our area while we're waiting for the oil to heat up.
Alright, so far we've made the spicy sauce for the spicy chicken katsu. We made the katsu sauce. We've got the oil heated up, and then we cut up our bone-in, skin-on chicken thigh to make our katsu. We breaded it, and we got it ready. So now all we're doing is waiting for the oil to heat up. We're going to drop those bad boys in there, sit them on a drying rack to let them drip so they're nice and crispy, plate it up. We're going to be good to go.
Alright, so we're going to lay the chicken away from us. And we're going to put two in. And we want to work the chicken. Just flip it back and forth, make sure it's getting all coated. And we're going to add in another piece of chicken. Once we get a good flip on these two. See how I'm just working around? Now we're going to add in the other piece of chicken. Super simple. Make sure the heat is now turned all the way up. Just keep working the chicken. Takes about 5 minutes. And you want to temp the chicken thigh just in case, and it should reach right at 165. Then we're going to put it on the drying rack and work the other chicken in the oil. And you want to be conscientious of the heat and the thermometer. You don't want it to get too hot, but you don't want to get too cold, so always adjust. So there is our chicken katsu, beautifully golden brown. Now we're going to take one of them and dip it into our spicy sauce. And we're just going to dip it right in there. See how thick it is? And we're just going to lather it all over the chicken katsu while it's still hot and there's a little bit of oil on it. And then we're going to just plop it down on the cutting board. Get it really worked in there, and get it on the cutting board and get it cut up and plated. So we're just gonna cut this like straight, no angles, nothing. Get that on the plate, clean up our mess, save the sauce, wipe down the cutting board, get the other katsu, get that chopped up, and just look at that piece. It's juicy, it's moist. Oh my goodness. So here you have it, folks. Chicken katsu, spicy chicken katsu, and some white rice with a little green onion garnish. Super simple. And then the katsu sauce and the spicy katsu sauce on the side, ready to go.
All right, well, there you have it. Chicken katsu, spicy chicken katsu. Got our katsu sauce and our spicy sauce. Just go ahead and dip this. Oh yeah. Oh. Just like L&L's back home. It's so good. Once again, I want to thank you guys for the 100 subscribers and just engaging with my videos. I really appreciate it, and I see all the comments. Thank you so much. Have a good one.